Okay, I received this weird message this morning. If you want to know the truth, talk to the frog. Who sent it? Was it you? What does it mean?
Well, no, not at all. But I don't have much to do here, so we can chat if you like. Even if it's with Eden's favorite poster boy. I used to watch you as a tadpole, you know?
Okay, you gotta know something. I mean, yes, that day on TV, I may have crossed the line. I went off script for 1 second, but firing me? It can't just end like that. There must be something you could do about it. It's not fair!
Oh, not fair, right? That's what crossed my mind when your police force shot my friend Paige last night.
Well, I mean, you're a terrorist after all. What did you expect?
All right, back at you, friend. What do you expect visiting a dirty terrorist? This was a mistake. I should go. You were right to be upset. I watched you that day. Between all those lies you were spewing about us, about everything, there was this one true moment. And they are punishing you for this, right? So, tropical or orange?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload. All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves.
You are listening to the High Tech Low Life podcast, a cyberpunk media retrospective. High Tech Low Life contains language and themes not suitable for all audiences, as well as spoilers for the content being covered. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the High Tech Low Life podcast with your hosts, Eric and Josh. I'm Eric.
And I'm Miles Pussyhound.
Hey, Miles Pussyhound, welcome. First time, long time.
Yes.
So, me and Miles are going to be watching, reviewing, recapping, sort of. We didn't really discuss how we're going to do it, hoping Josh has that planned.
We'll see.
The Netflix TV series Captain Laserhawk, Taser Hound.
Yes.
Pretty cyberpunk. You got to get that.
Yeah, it certainly was. I was pleasantly surprised.
I had a good time. It was weird, and it was hard to get motivated to watch it. But once I got rolling, I was into it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that aspect of it once we start.
Yeah.
Once we start talking about it,
which we can't yet because we have 2 weeks of dystopia to get to.
What?
I don't know what we need to talk about from the last 2 weeks. I think some of the hits. Biden's got prostate cancer. Yikes. Yeah. That sucks. Trump got a free plane.
Trump got a free airplane and is going to war against Bruce Springsteen, I guess.
Free airplane couldn't happen to a better man, right?
Yeah.
And Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce, lock him up.
Yep, lock Beyonce up for I could not devote mental energy to that today.
No.
When I saw it, I read the tweet multiple times. So
that's more than I gave it.
It was just truly mind-boggling. I had to sit there for a second and go, wait, what? So Trump thinks that Beyonce should be locked up because the Democratic Party paid her $11 million to endorse Biden, and she didn't perform?
Yes. How is that? Is that illegal? Does it matter?
That's the thing that really threw me about. Like, okay, sure, I get the, I don't know, he's an angry, dementia-riddled lunatic, and he starts attacking things willy-nilly. But what is the actual accusation there? Like,
Also, I don't understand how you can, in one breath, say that, and then in the other breath be like, well, they offered me a plane. It'd be an idiot to not take it. Like, they offered Beyonce $100 million or whatever. She'd be an idiot to not take it. So why are you going to put her in jail and not yourself, dipshit? It doesn't make any sense.
And and Elon Musk offering, I don't know, was that $10,000 to people to vote? Like,
right.
that is on its face a much more illegal thing than paying someone to do a commercial effectively.
Which I'm fine if they want to outlaw that across the board. Sure,
that's great. That'd be wonderful.
Let's not retroactively publish everyone who did a commercial for a political party, because that could be a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
I'm convinced. Wait, we haven't done any commercials for political parties, right? Nope,
I don't
never received any money.
I do not think anybody would have us.
Anything else? I'm sure some other shit happened.
The main thing that I want to talk about from the past 2 weeks,
okay,
which I feel is the most cyberpunk dystopic thing, is Grok going crazy.
Oh God, fuck yes, so funny.
So, in case you missed this, audience, or don't remember it because you're years down the line and the zone's been flooded with shit and you just found...
Harken back to this funny thing that happened in 2025.
So, one day, I don't remember, was it a week ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
One day, people asked Grok, which is Elon Musk's stupid, lying plagiarism machine, questions.
His woke AI.
People asked it questions like normal, like, say, I don't know, hey Grok, why, what are the top 5 Beyonce songs? And then the AI started responding to every question, seemingly with, well, I don't know about the top 5 Beyonce songs, but the song Kill the Boar is about the white genocide in South Africa.
Yeah, to give a little more context, we've recently been allowing white South Afrikaners in to the country as refugees, even though we've suspended our refugee program for all other refugees, which is blatantly on its face racism. Undeniable in any way. And I'm sure Elon had a part in that.
1,000%. Because, again, if audience, you are lucky enough to know, or lucky enough to not know, Elon Musk is in fact a white South African. And he seems to... and his grandfather moved his family there in, I think, the late 40s, early 50s, from Canada because he really agreed with the policies of the apartheid state. It sounds like I'm making a sarcastic joke, but I'm not. That is very literally the case. You can look it up.
Yeah, and it sounds like Elon is a pretty big fan of apartheid too, so not surprising.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, Grok is an AI that, like other AIs, does pull from the internet, and there is still some reality and truth on the internet. So I think originally when Grok was asked about the South African, quote, genocide, it answered truthfully that there wasn't one. And Elon probably didn't like that, changed it to say what he wanted it to say, and then, of course, fails at everything he does, so it just responded to that every question that was asked it for about 2 hours last week.
Yeah, I don't know, the thing I really like about it is that, it's another one of these large language models, just a very expensive, both in monetary terms and environmental terms, lying plagiarism machine.
Yeah.
And yet, so when you actually are confronted with the answers that AIs like this think you want, a huge amount of time, at least in my experience, it's not correct or the answer you're actually looking for or, anything like that. But the one time, his lying plagiarism machine is so fucking bad that he can't even force it to say what he wants it to say.
Yeah.
Without it making it blatantly obvious. And like the way that people were questioning it on this stuff after they started getting those responses, if any of these AIs were slightly aware of themselves, this is like one of those logic puzzles that Captain Kirk throws at a robot to like blow its brain up.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly aware that it's lying when it says this stuff. It keeps saying, as to why I responded with...
well, my programmers told me to.
Yeah, it's just another example in the long line of examples of Elon Musk being a fucking dumb shit.
Grok and ChatGPT are guarding the door. One of them only tells the truth. One of them only lies.
Yes.
It's stupid. And
Very.
Fuck AI and fuck Grok and fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or don't. Actually, stop fucking Elon Musk. He has too many kids. Please stop fucking him.
Well, look, now this is an unsourced rumor, and I'll be on the record for that.
Unsourced rumor alert.
Yeah, unsourced rumor alert. Elon Musk tried to have penis enlargement surgery. It did not take. His penis doesn't work. So he doesn't do so much fucking anymore. Every instance of him having a child that we publicly know about, like where we know anything about the circumstances of the conception, they are all IVF. So, just take that.
All right, guys. So that's how we're ending Dystopia Talk this week with Elon Musk's mangled penis. Visions of mangled penis dancing in your head.
And keep in mind that Elon Musk getting his penis mangled is a beautiful example of an attempt at gender affirmation.
That's true. It really is.
As is his hairline.
He's done a lot of gender affirming care for himself.
Yeah. The HGH.
But gender affirming care for cis people was never in question.
No.
So, also before we move on, real quick breaking news. I just saw the creator of Dilbert announced he has prostate cancer and probably won't live through the summer. Scott Adams, he's a huge piece of shit.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah, so that's something to think about.
His house looks like Dilbert. Have you ever seen a picture of his house? Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, fuck him. Oh,
yeah.
All right, we fucked a lot of people already. Let's talk about our recommendos. And I got to tell you, I've been like Andor pilled all weekend.
All right.
I watched it, and then I watched Rogue One, and it's kind of been all I can think about.
Yeah.
And, it burrows under your skin like a brain worm.
Yeah, I was so happy with that show. What do you want from me, man? Like,
I know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody else, even though the spoilers, I mean, you've seen Rogue One, you know what happens, basically, but I want everybody to experience. I wish I could have waited to watch Rogue One till after the fact. That would have been fun, but also it gives more gravitas to what you're watching in Andor, knowing the events of Rogue One too. So I don't know. Both ways would be cool if I could delete portions of my brain.
Yeah, I would be really curious to see, and we would never see these numbers because streaming companies don't do that. Yeah. Just how much of an abnormal bump Rogue One got over the course of the past week.
I know like 4 people who watched it this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
And it made Rogue One so much better. Not that Rogue One was bad to begin with, but now Rogue One's like my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because of the context. I don't know. I still love Jedi. Fuck haters. But man.
The important thing is that Saw Gerrera keeps fucking winning.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking dope.
I love Saw.
Hard not to. I don't know what else to say about it. It's everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, it's taking up a lot of air in the room.
Yeah,
because
I'd like to do our own recap of it. I think that'd be really fun, but we don't have time.
Yeah,
and nor platform. I guess we could do it on Patreon, but It's a lot of time. There's a lot of eps.
That's 24? 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind watching it again.
Yeah. I watched that last set of episodes twice.
Did you do it again?
Yeah. Well, because I watched them, was it Thursday night when it came out? Or Tuesdays. Yeah, whenever. Whenever it came out, I watched them, and I was increasingly drunk as it went on. And I mean, I really liked it. And then the next day I was like, I really like that. I should watch that again when I'm not
cemented in the brain properly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the middle, second to last
The
group was
Gorman.
the Gorman stuff and Mon Mothma's escape, which I really loved that episode.
The episode in the hospital was such a fucking banger.
Not a bad episode in the group, to be clear.
No, there really wasn't. Like the closest thing to a bad episode was the one with the Maya Pei Brigade. Is that the second episode? After he steals the TIE fighter.
Oh, yeah.
And he's on the planet with the idiots.
Yeah, poor dumb bastards.
Yeah, that was the Maya Pei Brigade that Saw brought up in season 1 as being idiots.
Well, keep it in mind. It's I think the reason it's hitting so hard is because this was written.
Oh, it's too
during
relevant.
the Biden administration. It was written before Trump came to power, and it feels like it was written, last month. It's just because what's his name knows fascism, and it's pretty clear that our current president is a fascist. So
and Tony Gilroy has not been quiet about it. Yeah,
good for him. All right, we've talked enough about Andor and Elon's dick.
Okay,
anything else besides our two topics?
I got Andor and Elon's dick. Jesus,
sounds like a podcast to me.
Yeah. I watched a couple of things. Murderbot started on Apple. First 2 episodes are out as of now. Pretty good. I mean, I don't know, it's different than the way I read the books, but pretty entertaining. And one of the major differences is that, boy, there is a lot of Murderbot's face. Mm-hmm. But I get it.
Such a handsome face.
Yeah, it's kind of... I had kind of assumed that they would end up going the Mandalorian route, where, they pay Pedro Pascal to do 1 episode a season, and then another 3 hours of voiceover for the entire season.
Yeah, Alexander Skarsgård doesn't have the voice that Pedro Pascal. He kind of needs the face. No shame on him. I love him, but
I don't disagree. But yeah, I think I think the first 2 episodes are real solid. Enjoyed them.
Are we going to be covering it? Is it on the list?
I think Murderbot's on here somewhere. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we probably. I don't know. We probably should. It's one of those things where it's clearly it's got a bunch of cyberpunk concerns, Murderbot is created and owned by a massive corporation that controls a big portion of the galaxy.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and it seems pretty cyberpunk from the trailer.
Yeah, the character played by David Dastmalchian in the show is an augmented human. It's got a bunch of cyberpunk concerns, and at the same time, it's also a much more just sci-fi thing, where it's sort of sure, 2 of our main characters in the original Star Wars trilogy are cybernetically augmented. 3 of them. But is it cyberpunk? I mean, it's not.
Really.
It's I don't know.
Sounds like at least it's a cyberpunk of screamers, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of doesn't count. I mean, yeah. It's more cyberpunk than screamers.
To be fair, we could cover Star Wars with our loose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our loosey-goosey with the rules. We could do Star Wars on this show, but I just don't think that's necessary. The world doesn't need that.
No. Why would we need to do that? I have thought a lot about Star Wars for 40 years.
Yeah.
I am certain I have no original thoughts that have not already been on at least 5 podcasts and
exactly.
God knows how many YouTube channels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring anything new to it.
We need to press onward, but I
Yeah.
do want to quickly mention that I'm watching The Rehearsal, and it's fucking weird and crazy, and it's great. And watch The Rehearsal.
And audience, you will be fine if you just look. If you do not need any more context. If you just want to watch, I think it was the 3rd episode of the current season, the Sully episode.
Yeah.
If you just want a taste of what's out there, there you go. Yeah, try that on for size, and if you are intrigued, continue or start over.
It is a truly, truly unique bit of television. There has never been anything like it, and there never will be again, and maybe there shouldn't have been. I don't know, but it's certainly entertaining to watch.
Television was maybe a mistake.
Yeah. So, all right. Can we get into Captain Lasertits?
Oh, one more. I've been watching the new season of Taskmaster, and like all Taskmaster, it's funny and good. And Jason Mantzoukas is bringing a very fun energy to it,
as he tends to do.
Yeah, he's very out of place among the English comics.
I've only ever seen clips on TikTok or YouTube, so I've never really actually watched the show, but I think I got the gist.
It is I've watched, I don't know, probably 5 seasons of it. I think it was like the 17th or some shit. And it's
many.
Always fun. I agree.
They do things weird over there.
Yeah, and they're all like fucking, I don't know, 10 episodes, 8 episodes? That's way more than any other British television show ever, right? Aside from Coronation Street.
I love how they'll just switch main actors from season to season, and you're just supposed to deal with it. And I'm not even being facetious. I actually do kind of like that and wish America would do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because my brain can do it. My brain can handle it. It handled Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It handled Family Matters.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, Captain Fuck Tits.
We're being flippant about Captain Laserhawk.
We are.
But it's a stupid name.
It really is, and I don't know. Okay, so this show, I liked this show overall.
Yeah,
it surprised me with how good and interesting it was. On the other hand, boy, it is a lot. And I mean that in the way that people not quite insultingly say, boy, she's a lot.
Yeah.
It's endearing, but also, okay. So the show's based on video game characters, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how or why.
I didn't read the wiki,
but it is.
I should have. It was done, from what I've heard, as an homage to not even to Far Cry 3, but a Far Cry 3 expansion. Dragon. Ah, shit. I should really have done research.
Here, let's see. I've got it up. Yeah, it is inspired by the 2013 video game Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, while amalgamating elements and characters from several other Ubisoft franchises.
Yes. And the thing about Ubisoft is it's not like Nintendo. It's not even like Square Enix. I feel like only true video game nerds could even pick out a lot of these characters. I've heard of Rayman, but Rayman ain't Mario. Rayman ain't Sonic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know what... Okay, there is one and a half characters in this show where I was like, oh, I know what that is. Okay. Everything else was just lights and noise.
I got excited at Sam Fisher because I really liked Splinter Cell back in the day.
That was the one I've played, and I think that is the only one of the relevant video games that I've ever played, the first Splinter Cell.
The French frog assassin was clearly a shout out to Assassin's Creed, although in none of those games do you play a cartoon frog, although maybe they should. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed that character a lot, kind of goofing on a game that's pretty serious usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know my wife played a shit ton of Far Cry 4, but not 3, so I don't have any connection to Far Cry 3.
The Far Cry games they're all first-person shooters, right? Or at least I think that's right.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy story-driven first-person shooters. I know 4 took place on I think it was 4, maybe it was 5. I can't remember. But the one that my wife played took place on like a cult compound.
Ah, yeah,
like a redneck cult compound.
I think I remember seeing maybe memes of that or something at the time.
Yeah, it was cool. I watched it play quite a bit. It's funny stuff. Anyway, we're not going to dive too deep into the video game stuff because, like I said, Ubisoft, dude, the characters just don't have that much connection. Like, these are not heavy zeitgeist, heavy hitters.
Yeah, and I just don't fucking know. I mean, like I said, I played, I think, one of the games that is directly referenced in this.
Yeah. Well, there aren't a ton.
I guess there are two. Apparently, the Power Rangers characters are inspired by the operators of Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
So I also played Rainbow Six.
They're not even like direct from they're inspired by it.
No, yeah.
It's weird. They obviously there was Rayman, there was Sam Fisher. I've never played Watch Dogs 2, but there were some characters from that.
I think that game is supposed to actually be fairly cyberpunk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing a trailer for it or something.
Yeah. Anyway, it's weird. It's a weird concept. I don't understand how it got made.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Ubisoft connection benefits it or hurts it.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I think at least for me, I think it slightly hurt it because it kept clearly referencing things that I had exactly zero fucking context for.
Really? I didn't feel like it did that much. Because I don't have context for any of this shit either.
Just character appearances and stuff like that. It seemed like it was trying to hang a hat on stuff. And I was like, well, you're saying something, but it's in a language I don't speak.
I don't know. I didn't feel that way really because the only the frog was you could pick out that the frog was from Assassin's Creed, right? He talked about being an assassin constantly, even though you've never played Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and the outfit also. I am aware that is from the Michael Fassbender movie.
Yeah, and Rayman, I've never played Rayman in my life. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it is, but I know that he's not supposed to be a character that snorts cocaine and gets drunk. It's clearly they were. So the only characters that really are the what are they called?
Protagonists.
Paige and Jade are the only two characters that are from a game that I had never even heard of. Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah. And I didn't feel like if this was just a cartoon, those could have just been weird. I didn't feel like they were constantly referencing Beyond Good and Evil. I don't know. Maybe we're not the target audience.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this is an animated series. Did we mention that? Maybe. It goes through a bunch of different styles. Some of them, and broadly, it looks pretty cool. I mean, kind of anime look shit.
Yeah, and it's not the most expensive when the actual anime parts are. It's not Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. It's
not even Cyberpunk.
Yeah. But it does regularly switch into entirely different styles. I don't know, there's platformer fighting on 16-bit, SNES graphics. And all that stuff is cool. Do we want to just talk about it kind of broadly in order?
I'm fine with just recapping an episode and just going episode by episode. We usually do that for TV shows.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's how we busted out Edge Runners in a tight 90.
Yeah. So episode 1, we begin with a direct-to-camera monologue from a cool guy who says he's going to die in 2 minutes. This guy's name is Marcus Holloway. He's a black guy with a beard and a fucking scar. And he explains the whole meta plot of the show, where Eden is like the nation, sort of, that's taken over at least part of the U.S., and it gives out universal basic income to everybody as control. So everybody's free to work and free to die as Eden demands. And if you don't agree, they turn you into a terrorist and shoot you on sight. And that's basically the world setup.
Doesn't sound like there's a lot of habeas corpus going on in this one. We didn't mention that in Dystopia Talk, but we might be just suspending habeas corpus. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so
Don't worry about
it. So then we cut to the biggest late show in Eden, where you will be fined 500 credits if you don't watch it.
I love that bit that kept popping up.
Yeah.
If this is mandatory, you will be fined 500 credits. Ubi bucks or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's also funded by Eden Burger and the board of directors, and is hosted by Rayman, who is a cartoon guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain him better than that, except he doesn't have limbs. He's got like a torso and a head and hands and feet, but no arms or legs.
I imagine if this wasn't just Ubisoft specific, if it was across all video games, and they had this late night talk show hosted by Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
That would be what they were going for. Maybe people who played Rayman had hit like that for them. I'm barely familiar with Rayman's existence, but
yeah,
he's a funny looking weird guy.
Yeah, he is a cartoony looking guy. And so, yeah, that sets up, we're going to see a whole bunch more of that, and then like random commercials for bullshit. And then we go to a team of fucking mercenaries. We've got Dolph Laserhawk. He is a cool cyber guy. Yeah. Like, he has a fucking cyber arm, and part of his skull his skull is like, his head is like Kano from Mortal Kombat.
Oh shit, we got to cover Mortal Kombat. That's cyberpunk.
Woof.
It's got Kano's skull.
It does, and it does have body modifications.
It does,
usually unasked for.
Jax, is it Jax?
Jax
has the metal arms.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Mortal Kombat has the last Mortal Kombat movie was fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I did not see that, but I like the guy who played Kano.
And it had our guy from Warrior in it, I think.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, Sub-Zero was played by, I can't remember his character name in Warrior. Huh. He was like the main dude's sister's main enforcer / love.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, and
we miss you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad all those guys seem to be getting work.
Yeah, they got them some jobs, which is cool.
Yeah, every week when I watch the Hamburglar show, I enjoy seeing.
I've never heard it referred to that before, but
I'm pretty proud of that one. I came up with it like 2 weeks ago and have been waiting to roll
original.
It out.
That's a Josh original.
Yes,
it is. That's top shelf.
I have been waiting to roll that the fuck out.
What's the name of that show?
Your Friends and Neighbors.
Your Friends and Neighbors. It's pretty good. I like it, but that is an even better name that they dropped the ball.
I came up with that as I was typing that thing on the Discord like 2 weeks ago about my thesis of John Hamm's career in relation to consumption. And I was like, this show should be called. Nah, I'm not gonna get enough response to make it worth it here.
Yeah, save it for your podcast, man.
Mm-hmm. So, we got the cyberpunk guy who's going to be the main character. He's all, dark and moody and conflicted looking. And then we have a big Aussie guy with a ponytail and I don't know, sort of like, it's not a beard, but like mutton chops that go into mustache, whatever you call that.
I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Anyway, that character's name is Alex Taylor. I don't remember if it's right now or very shortly, but we find out that they are lovers.
Oh, yeah.
And they are right now going to rob a codec, which I don't know. I don't know exactly what it means in the context of this show. They dive off this fucking building, like, land on a fucking speeding car on the highway, jump into the car, like scan the guy in the car's face. And then there's a fucking car chase on an anti-gravity road. It looks vaguely like F-Zero for a quarter second.
Yeah, they dump you into some pretty cyberpunky shit.
Yeah. And then, the car chase ends, and this is when they make out. And it's very peaceful, and they're like this overlooking the city. And then the cops show up, and they escape from the cops. And then the credits hit, and the credits, if you have the subtitles on, specify dark synthwave music.
Yeah, I saw that a lot. Music's pretty good in this. I was into it.
Yeah, it reached,
I mean, it is as advertised.
Yeah, it reached that limit that we discovered when we were doing the what was that album we did?
Yeah, the only album we did.
Yeah, we reached my limit of this is fine up until minute 3, and then I'm like, all right, fucking over it. Let's move on.
I have a much higher threshold and quite enjoy it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just not my shit. So then we get some. Oh, we cut to.
By the way, wanted to point out, I had no idea how gay this show was, and it was cool.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised. Just especially given how scaredy catty
Netflix
corporations have been the past several years.
Yeah. I always like to see that kind of representation in cyberpunk stuff, considering the genre. Well, you all know about the genre. You've been to r/cyberpunk.
Yeah, you know all about it. It's neon, it's mirror shades.
All that stuff, and that stuff only.
When did cyberpunk get all political? That's what I want to know.
I liked cyberpunk before it was woke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so then we cut to Rayman. He's given the news. It turns out there was he describes the Terry attack by Laserhawk, and shows a whole bunch of destruction that we didn't see in the aftermath, where I think 252 people were killed and like 300 some were injured. And it then shows a commercial for the upcoming program, which you are also required to watch, about Laserhawk's backstory. He's the son of an immigrant thief and a sex worker, addicted to crack at 9 years old. Then got cybered by the military to redeem himself, and then betrayed them. Getting recruited by the guy from the beginning of the show, the cool bearded black guy. And this is where, I think this is about the first place where we get, like, it switches art style for that, like, for the context of that commercial.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first episode, I watched this all at once, and the first episode's so different from the last one that it's almost faded out of my memory.
Yeah. So then we go to a building. A whole bunch of workers lined up at the front. It's trying to recall scenes from the Great Depression where, there's a guy picking out, I need 5 carpenters or whatever. And there's a crowd of like 1,500 people trying to get jobs. And there are a bunch of people saying like, I'm an engineer and shit like that. So apparently things aren't going great in Eden, despite it being called Eden. Weird.
Weird.
So then we see Alex and the guy whose face they scanned in the heist driving up to the building and going in. He's the vice president, apparently. And then we do a little PS1 sneak around game of hiding
I would
behind.
say it's earlier than that. It's like Super Nintendo sneak around game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see that. A little sneak around game where they're moving boxes to like get in guards' vision and stuff like that. And they break into a vault. They're stealing this codec, which generates unlimited credits. And the codec is
Enough
in the
for
form.
them to live happily ever after.
Yeah. And the codec is in the form of an SNES cartridge.
Yeah. No, I think it was an N64 cartridge.
Was it? Okay. It could have been.
Definitely a game cartridge.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely one
with your mic, sir.
Oh, sorry. I had to move. My leg is falling asleep. So they're stealing this. They're getting out. And then suddenly fucking Power Rangers show up. Why are Power Rangers in this? I don't know. They just are.
Yeah, they're kind of like a Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah, they do like a Voltron-y thing at a certain point. Anyway, the red one's a real dick. And pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's just an annoying fucking dick.
There's really no other way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they do a cool fight across like moving platforms, and it's again like this is kind of I don't know, Dreamcast maybe.
Yeah.
Graphics.
Good way to save on animation while also working in the video game aspect.
Yeah, I don't know if it's saving anything, but yeah.
I mean, it's definitely easier to animate.
Is it?
I would think.
I honestly don't know enough about the economies of animation.
I don't.
I suspect
either. I just assumed.
Yeah, I suspect it probably is just about as much. Anyway, they finally defeat all the Power Rangers. The red guy falls and gets blown up, and he's going to get a cybernetic arm later. It'll be great for him. Don't worry about it. And they're just about to escape when suddenly fucking betrayal. Bum, bum, bum.
I was bummed.
Yeah. Alex betrays Laserhawk. They're not going to go right off into the sunset somewhere and live on a beach. Alex needs the money to fund the revolution. And he says, I do love you, but the cause is worth any sacrifice. And then Laserhawk says, hell of an apocalypse we're having, right? And then Alex shoots the shit out of him and show over, right?
Yep. Done. One and done. I do have to say, after watching Andor and like I said, really it being in my brain, in the forefront of my brain for all weekend, watching this, I was like, Alex is kind of right. If you go back and he's not wrong. In fact, a lot of this, Captain Laserhawk's kind of an asshole.
He is. He spends most of the show classically refusing the call.
Yeah. Brooding and being sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling sorry for himself. And
he does the very self-serious, the voice that somebody would do if they made a Shadowrun character named Nemesis. It's exactly like I said. Hell of an apocalypse we're having, right? You know, kind of a gravelly, soft.
Yeah, the Nolan Batman voice.
Yeah,
the Christian
kind of.
Bale Batman voice.
Yeah, kind of. Hey, wait, the show's not over. He wakes up in a cell with a bunch of fucking weirdos. There's a frog. There's I don't know, I guess it was a Ken or a Ryu or a Guile from a fighting game.
The wrestler?
No, the guy who dies immediately.
I don't remember.
He was only in like 2 minutes of the first episode.
Okay.
Anyway, a giant pig guy, a little girl who's a reporter. We'll learn some of their names later. Who gives a shit? And then it turns out the door opens and this woman comes in and she's the warden of the Supermax prison, and it turns into Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was also thinking, what was the movie? Oh, the anime we watched, Cyber City.
Cyber City. Wait.
Yeah, same concept. Classic concept. Prisoners turn not even vigilantes, state-sponsored assassins.
Yeah. So she says, hey, you got to work for me now or I'll blow your head up. The fighting game guy takes a run at her and his head blows up because she blows his head up.
Yeah, that was a wrestler. He was a wrestling guy, yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Because they mentioned he was the one that was supposed to do the wrestling
Okay, I just assumed fighting game guy because he didn't have.
I don't think he was an actual video game character.
He didn't have the animated build of a wrestler, if that makes sense.
I believe he was voiced by an actual wrestler.
Ooh, okay. Well, I don't give a shit. He's dead. Who cares?
He did.
So yeah, they work for her now, and Dolph's like, "I'm not working for fucking anybody. I'm dark and complicated." And she's like, and the warden's like, "Oh, I thought you might like the opportunity to find Alex." Oh well. Anyway, that's the end of the first episode.
Only 5 to go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The next episode. Let's just do this real easy. The next episode.
Yeah, we don't have to get into such detail because that one was important though to set up.
Yeah.
The world and the relationships. Although it's worth noting, this elite Shadowrunning team doesn't stay together long.
No. Also, it doesn't set up huge chunks of the world that will become vitally important.
Also true.
Almost immediately. So, next episode, their job is to break into this casino where this guy named Pagan Min, who seems pretty cool, right?
Fucking cool. Also quite gay.
Also super gay. This guy, Pagan Min, is like a crime lord. He runs the triads. And he has recently purchased, or I don't know, whatever. He has recently gotten a hold of the Golden Super Scope, which, if you don't know, the Super Scope was the SNES version of the blaster. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like it wasn't a pistol, it was a bazooka. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our mutual friends had one when I was younger, and it was fun to play with, even though the games were not that great for it.
No. So, like, this is the most powerful weapon in the world or something. Their job is to sneak in, swap the real one with a fake one that they've got, and then sneak out. They definitely cannot kill Pagan Min. He is very important for some reason or another.
All right, so I'm sorry not to interrupt you. You're going to hate me. I did find it. The guy was voiced by Cody Rhodes, who is a professional WWE wrestler. Okay, I'm shutting up now. Goodbye.
Yeah, all right. Sure. Never heard of him. Never hear of him again. Great. Doesn't matter. So, turns out the whole plan is they're going to infiltrate as part of a prize fighting thing. I don't know. The giant pig guy is going to wrestle. Now the wrestler guy, Cody Rhodes, now that he's dead.
Yeah, he did.
And his niece is the reporter girl, except she's not really his niece. We find that out immediately.
He has feelings for her, which was weird.
She's gonna be a femme fatale. Anyway, and we also find out the most important thing about this episode, or one of the most important things, is that this city, which we saw none of this in the first episode, is absolutely full of human-animal hybrids.
Yeah.
Like, from this point forward, every other person is either like a cow guy or a snake lady or a tiger dude.
Maybe this is a reference to something in Ubisoft games. I don't know if it was or not. I like it as a concept, though, even if it isn't.
Yeah, they use it pretty good. Yeah. So while the wrestling is going on, Jade is doing a seduction mini game with a tiger bodyguard guy.
Yeah, it's a dating sim.
Yeah, and just fails it terribly.
She doesn't do femme fatale.
Yeah, she doesn't know her cigarette is backwards in her mouth, etc., etc. Well, while that's happening,
I love the tiger guys. By the way, I want a clone army of tiger man hybrid bodyguards.
Yeah, that'd be cool. While that's happening, Laserhawk and the assassin Bullfrog are sneaking through the sewers. The frog kills many, many tiger guys.
Frog doesn't fuck around. He's an assassin.
No. Yeah.
He chose the path of the assassin.
Assassin. Yes. And there is some honor in this. So Laserhawk sneaks into the office. He's swapping out the fucking super soaker. I know that's not what it is, but that's That's what's stuck in my brain. Who cares? And he finds Alex, his betrayer, ex-boyfriend, fucking Pagan Min.
He recognizes the scent of his cigar and knows he's there, and then finds them.
Yeah, can't keep his cool for even a second.
We get to see Alex's dong for a second too.
Yeah. Laserhawk freaks. Everybody gets captured. There's some interrogation shit going on, and there's some kind of interesting. There's kind of an interesting approach at some self-loathing gay aspects in Pagan Min's speech. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, this show throws something in there where you're like, God damn, somebody with a real fucking brain was getting some shit out. And then it just moves on and, a bullfrog stabs somebody.
Yeah.
Or Rayman pulls out a fucking submachine gun.
Snorts a line. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It's modulated strangely.
Some of the Revolution stuff, you're like, oh, okay, there's something here. And then something just fucking dumb happens. And you're like, oh, okay, well, this is a cartoon first.
Yeah. So we're doing some interrogation, like, why are you here to fucking kill me or steal the Super Soaker, whatever. He ends up shooting, the Pagan Min ends up shooting Jade and killing her. So we're like, wow, team's going down. And the cute girl first. That's weird.
Yeah, unexpected.
Yeah.
But I liked it because he says, no fun killing somebody who wants to die.
Yeah.
Thought it was a pretty cool villain thing to say and then do.
Yeah, it was. And then Laserhawk says, Jade's brain bomb, whatever, because they've got radios to the Warden, and the Warden triggers the brain bomb in Jade, and because she's already dead, and then an explosion happens, there's a big escape fight. Bunch more people die. Alex gets away with the fucking super scope and a jetpack that he's got, so that's cool. Mm-hmm. Paige, the pig guy, bashes Pagan Min's brains out for killing Jade.
After the Assassin Frog tries to stop him. The Assassin Frog is not big on vengeance. He thinks it's bad.
Yeah, he doesn't think it's worth a whole lot. Yeah. And then that's basically the end of the episode, except we get a cutaway to Alex with a couple of Pagan Min's remaining goons, and he's recruiting them into the revolution and fires the Super Soaker into the sky, where a portal opens up and some giant rabbit kaiju comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think Pagan Men did have a pretty cool coterie of thugs.
Yeah, like the lady with the single fucking laser eye head.
Yeah, and then the big metal jaw gator man.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah, he had some great fucking goons. Okay, episode 3. We start off with some Rayman news again, and it turns out that off-screen the Power Rangers defeated the kaiju. They're actually the Niji 6, I think, is the name of the group. Doesn't matter. They're Power Rangers.
Niji 6 is the shout-out to the Rainbow Six Ninja.
Oh! I did not connect the colors to the rainbow. Oh, my God. Yeah. I should have.
Yeah.
I should have picked that up. Good fucking deal. And the attack is being blamed on Laserhawk. So no big deal.
Some of the propaganda in this show did strike some chords with me. Some of the blatant denials of reality is stuff that we've definitely been witnessing happening every fucking day of our lives.
Yeah, this show, honestly, as psychotic as it seems, this show will probably end up getting a pretty good prescience rating.
It will, dude. Like, some of the dystopian aspects of this show, although they're ridiculous and cartoonish, are closer than a lot of the other dystopias we've covered. It's weird.
Yeah, it's odd. Okay, so then we find out what the mission is for this episode. Alex was seen at this Cobra Juice factory. Cobra Juice is
energy
Monster
drink.
Energy drink. Yeah. And he's been seen at this Cobra Juice factory, so they're going to go there and figure out what he was doing. Then we cut to a kids show about hybrids. These hybrid people.
It's more of like a kid's PSA.
Yeah. Yeah, like the type of thing you'd see on, on PBS between Sesame Street episodes or something.
Yeah, like we're all kids of all different. Everybody looks different. Love people who aren't like you. Or in this case, it's they were made for a specific purpose, and you should thank them for doing the work they do, which is a little fucked up.
A little bit. And we see inside the Cobra Juice facility, and it turns out that basically the way it works is a bunch of snake people bite into a thing and venom into it, I guess. Yep. I don't know. And then our gang raids it and talk to the manager, and it turns out that Alex demanded this special delivery. So the team is going to make this delivery instead of like the normal employees. And they deliver to a big wrestling arena, or a big arena where there's wrestling going on.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Rayman drinking alone. Sorry. I missed.
Yeah, wasn't there a newscast before that?
So right after the kids hybrids PSA thing, we see Rayman doing the news, and the Red Power Ranger says a bunch of racist shit about horrible fucking inter-universal aliens, which Rayman apparently is. And Rayman starts yelling at him on the news, and doesn't actually say "fuck you," but is basically saying "fuck you, I'll beat your ass."
Yeah, he has a little what the kids are calling a crash out.
Oh, okay, that's a new one on me. Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking with it, dude. I'm lit.
Well, just wait. Give it a couple of months, and I'll be back in with the kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gonna be spending a lot of time with some kids.
Yes. I love kids. Wait, cut that. We get to Rayman drinking alone in his apartment, and he gets fired over a video call by the board of directors.
I like how the board of directors spoke to him like he was a child, basically.
Yeah, I assume that the board of directors was some specific visual reference, like their mask robe scenario. I assume that was a reference to something, but I have no fucking idea what.
I don't know. I maybe you were assuming more of this was reference to video game stuff than I was, because a lot of the stuff I was just taking as the world.
Yeah, could be. Anyway, so we get to the gang at the wrestling match. Turns out the special delivery was all these sunglasses, just like, I don't remember the name of the wrestler character.
Randy Savage. Oh, I thought.
No.
In real life, Randy Savage wore those glasses. He was the inspiration, I think.
Yeah, they're horrible fucking like 1992 gas station glasses. Something
Lion
like that.
Man? Or was that that was a different one? Yeah,
no,
that was a different one.
The Lion Man was the guy he was fighting in the ring.
It did.
Yeah. Anyway, so there are all these promo sunglasses.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, sure, I believe it. The sunglasses get given out to the crowd.
Oh, by the way, that's another real wrestler. Sorry.
Oh, great.
I'm learning all this on IMDb as you're talking.
Sure, I believe it. And I'm never going to get to this stuff. So, and then it turns out that the glasses are exactly the opposite of They Live.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but true. That's got to be a They Live reference.
It makes everybody who puts the glasses on see hybrids as horrible aliens killing people. And
since there was just a horrible alien killing spree the night before, everybody's primed to kill aliens.
Yeah, so it brainwashes everybody into attacking and killing hybrids. And there's also some antennas spreading the signal. So yeah, it's like exactly the opposite of They Live.
I mean, it's definitely an homage.
Yeah. So there's fucking riots in the streets. Laserhawk goes to the antenna on the roof of the... one of the antennas. There's an antenna on the roof, and then there's one in the sewers. Alex goes to the one on the roof to disable it, and it turns out that Alex is there.
It's waiting with a candlelit dinner.
Candlelit dinner. Yeah. And Alex explains that he's, this is terrible, but, I'm sacrificing the hybrids to, cause chaos and bring about the destruction of the system.
Sounds familiar if you've watched Andor.
Yeah.
Really familiar.
Yeah. There was always something a little bit high-toned about those fucking Gormanites.
There were something, yeah. Meanwhile, all of this, the frog is getting in a fight in the sewer. And one of my favorite scenes, actually, I really enjoyed the frog's fight with the henchman.
Yeah. He fights a lot of fucking goons. Basically, Laserhawk shoots Alex, refusing to be seduced by him. Bullfrog kills the antenna, and the riots outside pause. People are like, "Oh, what the fuck was that?"
Before that, though, another apropos thing, the police show up to disperse the riots. They don't have the glasses on. It's important to notice, and they immediately start firing on the hybrids, not on the humans with the glasses on. And is that after it?
That's right after this, because the frog kills the antenna, and the glasses stop working, and the riots pause. Then, Laserhawk shoots Alex, and Alex says, it doesn't matter anyway. Once the fire of hate lights up people's hearts, nothing can stop it. And we cut back to the streets.
Surely not fucking wrong, given what we've seen.
Yeah.
Like I said, this one's really,
it's
really fucking prescient.
It's upsettingly prescient.
I didn't think we'd ever get to this point with just immigrants. Sorry, it's getting a little dystopia talky in here, but
especially after I thought all our immigration problems were solved when Hamilton came out. Remember, immigrants? We get the job done? Huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I guess I believed people when they said that I'm okay with legal immigration. And I guess I'm a fucking idiot for believing that, because they're not okay with legal immigration. They don't want any immigration to be legal.
Yeah.
And fuck them for it.
Yeah. Okay, so we get back down to street level, and the riots start again. This time, it's a bunch of hybrids basically fighting back against the people who were beating the shit out of them moments ago. And then the cops show up and do a whole bunch of fucking violence.
Yeah, as cops do.
Yeah, and then Paige, the giant pig guy, he gets shot to shit trying to save a bunch of people. And Laserhawk is...
Paige is a good guy.
Yeah, he does his best. And Laserhawk's on the roof of the building. He's, seeing all this shit go down. The cops see him, or I think actually the army shows up at this point. The army sees him, shoots some missiles at him on the roof, and he is just barely saved in time, being rescued by the warden, and they fly off.
Yeah.
And then the last scene of this episode is Rayman at home watching the news, and oddly enough, he's delivering the news as he's watching it.
There's another Rayman. Also, the frog gets arrested.
Yeah, the frog gets picked up. Rayman is replaced by an AI. Rayman?
That's how I took it.
Yeah. Who mentions that the warden is now also a Terry. So, episode 4. We're in the wasteland with the warden. The warden's dicking with Laserhawk's arm. He refuses the call again. He's like, "Oh, why the fuck we gotta get out of here?" And then they get darted.
Yep.
It's a very funny bit.
She's just trying to get him to join because the people of the wasteland need him.
Yeah. It turns out, and we're gonna find this out through the episode, she grew up in the wasteland. So she's motivated to make the wasteland better. And I don't think she explicitly explains that her goal is to defeat the council, whatever. Anyway, they get darted. They wake up in a cell. again, the same cell from episode 1, except everything's slightly different in that Laserhawk and the Warden are now in Sega CD graphics.
Yeah, I was thinking like the VHS tape video games or something. Yeah,
they're
CD's
very much
closer.
Yeah, it's like Sega CD or that Johnny Mnemonic game that I had where it's like all video.
Yeah,
it's off-putting.
it's very off-putting because you can see like these actors. No shame to them, but they don't look like Captain Laserhawk's ripped. The actor who plays him, Nathaniel Curtis. I mean, he's a fine-looking man, but he's not ripped like an anime Captain Laserhawk.
Yeah. So then we get
the Warden's clearly wearing a terrible wig.
Yeah. That's very, very obvious. So it turns out her father was, she talks backstory. Her father was a Black Ops legend. Sam Fisher. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, that's the name of a video game character I know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the night vision goggles with the three lenses on them.
Whatever happened to Splinter Cell? Why did they stop making those? That was a fun ass game.
Couldn't begin to guess. So she and her father are from the wasteland. They're going into Eden, and she's like 8 at this point, something like that, probably. Mm-hmm. They go into Eden to meet up with Marcus Holloway, the guy from the very beginning of the show, and a bunch of other hackers.
The what's his name from Strange Days, the inciting incident guy who's like, the musician at the beginning of Strange Days who gets killed and then everything off.
Yeah,
kind of the same
Jericho 1.
Jericho 1. That's the shit.
So they're meeting the subversive hacker collective with the goal of getting their subversive status erased, like from City Records or something. So they do this. And by the way, Sam Fisher is in a wheelchair.
Don't think he was in that in the games unless the last one ended in a specific way.
Maybe that's why
they
stopped making him. I don't know. So and
could have just had Sarah pick up the mantle.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. She was training in Hitler Youth School. Never mind.
Yeah. So they get the subversive status erased, and then these alarms start going off, like somebody fucked up the hacking. And it turns out that no, it was her as an 8-year-old triggering this little badge. What are they, Rayman kids?
Yeah.
Or Ray kids. And she gives a fun little bit about how whenever you see anyone doing anything that isn't right, including your parents, you need to call the police, or basically. So,
her dad gets, I mean, it's good. It's a good bit of business, I think, for world building.
It is. I hate it.
I hate it. Don't get me wrong, but it's great in the context.
Yeah, I surprisingly didn't see it coming.
I know, me either, dude.
In retrospect, you're like, oh, yeah, obviously, sure, why wouldn't that be the case? But no, it caught me. So then we cut to Marcus being thrown into VR prison. It's out in the wasteland. It's this big fucking building. He's just basically in VR goggles strapped to a fucking wall. And he plays that Dreamcast Crazy Taxi game over and over again.
Yep, which is hell.
Yeah. He gets shocked whenever he fails. And it turns out that that's what this whole prison is. Full of people strapped into VR, controlling, in the real world, all these self-driving cars and drones and shit.
And yes, I know you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Obviously, homage to Cyber Vengeance.
Obviously, yes. It's the most referenced... God, I just saw Terry Serpico on something the other day.
I think we need to go back and revise our rating for... my brain is just not working today.
Yeah.
Influence. We need to revise its influence rating.
Yeah, definitely.
Clearly. Anyway, go ahead.
1 second. I'm trying to... It's going to bug me if I don't figure out what I saw.
You told me about it. You texted me.
No, just like literally 2 days ago. Michael Clayton. I rewatched Michael Clayton, which was the Tony Gilroy's picture with Michael... with George Clooney as the lead. And Terry Serpico is a thug. Anyway, sorry. Resetting. Okay, so yeah, so all the prisoners.
Josh, how do you feel about South Africa?
Would you like to hear about Kill the Boer? Oh, this is a song calling for ethnic cleansing, or I don't know. So we cut to 8 years later. And the warden is now a teen. She's in boot camp. She's the highest scoring person there. She's on the phone with her dad. And he sent her a gift, like these VR goggles, which look like his goggles from the video games, to like help her. And she's going to throw them away. And he's apparently out on parole. And anyway, it turns out that she doesn't give a shit, and she doesn't think she was wrong at all to turn him and everybody else in. So he triggers some like knockout gas in the goggles. She passes out, and then he goes and does a Splinter Cell to free Marcus Holloway.
Yeah,
and it's
pretty badass for a man with no legs.
Yeah, it's exactly a Splinter Cell thing. I mean, he's fucking crawling around on some stumps, and then his stumps have guns in them.
Yeah. That is a cool cybernetic enhancement.
Yeah. So then, after this jailbreak turned into the Wasteland Uprising, and a bigger rebellion against Eden, and Eden nukes them. And so then we see they're back in the cell. She's explaining all this, and you're like, oh, they fucked this up because now you're seeing Laserhawk's left arm, and that was his cyber arm before. And then you're like, then she's like, wait, there's something weird with you. You've got a whole face. And then it turns out that the warden is trapped in the same VR facility from earlier now.
OMG.
And it's not the fucking Supermax cell that they thought they were in. Bum, 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 bum. So, episode 5. Rayman is watching the aftermath of the riot and doing some fucking rails.
He sure is. A little hero.
Railman. Am I right?
You are right.
He gets a message, purportedly from a board member, that says, talk to the frog. So.
Never really say who that message was actually from, right?
Yeah, I don't. There are some holes in this that I think if they were to do a second season,
they might fill.
They might be fillable. But yeah, that was an odd bit of business after the fact. So then we go to another Sega CD quality interrogation with the warden. She's getting tortured by Holloway, who still looks like his normal animation self.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they cut back and forth. I guess everything in VR is this Sega CD animation, but I kind of wish they just stuck with the original animation, honestly.
Yeah, the Sega CD stuff is very off-putting in a way that I'm honestly I'm honestly kind of surprised at how I don't know, makes my eyes twitch.
Yeah, as far as how much they used it, considering how, it just looks blurry.
Yeah. Blurry and yet pixelated.
Right. I can't believe we used to play video games like that.
I know. Remember when Mortal Kombat was the most realistic looking video game in the world?
So realistic.
Yeah. Anyway, she's getting interrogated and tortured by Holloway, and he's basically forcing her on a tour through the aftermath of the war on the wasteland. She sees her dad die over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to Laserhawk on a beach. It's very peaceful there.
He's actually got a pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex is there.
With some margs.
Holloway shows up and says, look, you've earned a fucking relax. Hang out, have all your desires, play some fucking volleyball with all your dead crewmates.
Yeah.
We see Jade and Peg and the fighter guy who died immediately.
Yeah, he even comes back even though they really didn't know each other.
Yeah. So he's going to spend the episode doing that. Rayman goes to the courthouse to talk to the frog.
Having some hot sex, I'm sure.
I assume so, although it didn't show any. I mean, slightly disappointing, but whatever. So Rayman goes to the courthouse, like talks his way in past some guards because he's still a famous TV guy because he's still on TV as far as everybody but he knows, right?
Yeah, he can walk right in.
Yeah. So he goes to talk to the frog and explains like the very basics of his situation. Like, it's not fair. I did fucking everything I could for them. Like, this just isn't fair. And the frog is like, not fair? That crossed my mind when the police killed my friend Paige. And the frog is, again, like, super cool.
Thank you. I agree. Oh, wait, you're talking about the video game one.
Yeah, I am.
That's been my IRC nickname since 1995.
Yeah.
I was the frog before Assassin's Creed existed.
Yeah, you were. So we get some, Rayman fills in a little of his backstory, where basically it comes down to Eden lifted, this one filthy fucking alien immigrant up. So that means everybody's fine and can have a shot. If I made it, anybody can do it, right?
Oh,
it's just, yeah. And then the bullfrog blows this bubble. And, he's done this like twice. He burps and a bubble comes out and you can see the future and the past. I don't, it's mystifying.
Is that something from a game? I don't know. Maybe.
I have to assume it is. Oh, maybe, like, I don't know. Maybe the bullfrog is a combination of like Assassin's Creed and then another game where a frog blows bubbles. I don't know. Frogger?
Bobble? I think all the one in Frogger does is get hit by cars or not get hit by cars.
Yeah.
Fall into river or not fall into river.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe they made later sequels.
Maybe.
So, Rayman seems to get something from this. We don't see the vision in the bubble.
Yeah. It's exactly the same as the suitcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, or the trunk in Repo Man.
Yeah. Wait, I've never seen that.
Well, we'll watch it on the show.
We will.
It's great. Great fucking movie. So then the Red Power Ranger shows up.
Great piece of shit that he is.
Acts like a total ass. And Rayman escapes. Rayman takes off. So we go back to the beach. Frankie Avalon's there. Annette Funicello. Anybody remember that?
Such a good reference that all the young folk are going to get.
Anybody remember that movie other than me and maybe Eric?
I don't even know the movie. Beach Blanket Bingo, maybe?
No. Back to the Beach was a 1988 beach movie, parody of a beach movie featuring Frankie and Annette. It's very weird. Oh, I think Pee Wee Herman's in it. It's a bizarre fucking item. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get derailed into that. So Laserhawk has a heart-to-heart with Alex, and basically everything turns around on Alex convincing him to go and save the bullfrog. Like, well, what about that? Yeah, you should at least try to save your friend. So we do that. Laserhawk wakes up in the wasteland, having been freed, and heads back to Eden in the car that he and the warden were in earlier. So the warden's in VR. The aftermath of the Eden attack on the wasteland. She's all fucked up and talking to like our younger selves. And then Holloway, and she's like obviously very regretful. Holloway says, "Well, maybe maybe you can learn and be better." So he frees her, and then it turns out she was evil all along and inserted a virus into the system, and now has fucking spider legs.
Via Captain Laserhawk's arm. Yeah, it was a shocking heel turn, but I think it was only shocking because it wasn't really earned. She pretty much didn't seem to... There was no real indication that she was this person, but you know what? She looks fucking cool with spider legs.
Yeah, she's got cool spider legs. What do you want from me? I don't know. On to the final episode. So we've got an Eden report. It is Retribution Day. the frog is going to get executed in an hour and a half or 30 minutes, I guess.
They keep stretching it. If you, Josh, you're not a reality TV connoisseur like I am, but their constant cutting to commercials was straight out of reality television. It was perfect.
That's what I'm given to understand. Okay, let's recap the segment we just saw right before we go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Recap it again after commercial.
Recap it again. 30 seconds of content, then recap again.
It's fucking infuriating. And they nailed it.
Yeah. So Rayman is watching it in a diner. Laserhawk hears all this on the fucking radio, that these, frogs getting all sparky. And then Laserhawk's car crashes, due to a virus infecting his cyber arm. And he sees a little flashback of the warden administering it.
Yeah, pretty sure that's how the virus got it into
the VR facility.
Yeah.
And then as he's climbing out of his crashed car, the Power Rangers and the army arrive.
Yep.
They're going to destroy the VR facility.
Got some serious Edge Runners vibes from this scene. I feel like there's a scene almost exactly like it in Edge Runners.
You might be right. Yeah. I don't remember that.
There's definitely a scene in the desert in a giant robot, and there's some shit going. Obviously a different story, but it was very similar.
Well, and also there was a scene in a desert with a giant robot in Appleseed.
That's also true.
Yeah, that's also true.
So let's face it. You got a desert, a giant robot, and a fight with the army, and I'm there.
Yeah.
It's just a good combo.
Yeah, it really is. So then we're back in the VR facility. The warden and Holloway are fighting. He tries to fight her with fucking drones. She's spider legging shit.
I did enjoy this scene. These two fighting with two masters of their craft throwing down.
Yeah. He's playing a mini game to kill the virus inside his systems.
It reminded me of the old. There was an old arcade game. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know.
It's not coming to me. I'll never remember it.
Yeah,
but it was basically a version of that.
And he's doing real good, killing off this virus. And she got pushed out of the control room and kills a bunch of drones. And he's kicking her ass right up until she starts killing his buddies who are all in VR headsets and can't defend themselves.
Yes, he probably would have beat her if not for his soft spot.
Yeah. And then we go to Rayman in the diner, in the bathroom of the diner. He's doing a Green Goblin / Gollum scene in the mirror where he's talking to his respectable self.
Oh,
his respectable self is like, the board lifted you up. They made you great and famous and everybody loves you. And he's like, but they fucking betrayed me.
Rayman is fucking off the deep end.
Yeah. He then pulls out a duffel bag and pulls a gun out of it and says, I think it's time for the board to meet Ramon.
Slicks his hair back. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very funny. So we do a Power Rangers Voltron fight to kill Laserhawk. They do a big fight.
Oh, by the way, I think he was even doing a little bit of the Razor Ramon accent, which longtime listeners of ours will know was a character on our Creek of the Week podcast for a while.
It's
the bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
So we fight in the desert. There's a pause for a commercial. And we find out that 15 minutes until the frog dies. The Power Rangers try to end it all by stomping on Laserhawk. He's all fucked up.
By the way, talking shit the whole time.
Yeah. The Power... And the fact that all of the Power Rangers are acting like the red guy is just a complete ass. And they don't seem very funny. For him. He seems to be the leader by somebody else's choice.
Yeah, exactly.
So they go to stomp on Laserhawk. He ends up lifting them off and, kind of throwing them a little ways. And then there's some more fight. Laserhawk just starts fucking killing the army and shit. He's gone fucking Super Saiyan. And then he's having like plasma reactor critical warnings in his vision, and then there's a giant fucking explode and a giant crater. So, whatever.
By the way, just for the connection's sake, the actor who voice acts the Red Ranger guy was a producer on Dread, which is a movie we've covered here.
Oh,
and a producer on Castlevania, which is another great animated series that I recommend checking out.
Yes. So then we cut to the frog.
And a producer on the video for Gunship Dark All Day, which Gunship, I believe, is the album we were trying to come up with earlier.
Oh, yes.
Was it Gunship?
No.
It's one of those fucking...
Yeah, I don't know. I only know like 4 band names in there. One of them is Carpenter Brute. Maybe it was Gunship.
I think it was Gunship. It was their...
Was it Unicorn something? Something Unicorn?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's
anyway.
on the history.
Actually, in one of these desert fight scenes, I noticed that there was a Carpenter Brute song playing, according to the subtitles. So, Frog is a minute and 30 from death. Cut to the board meeting. The board are, dicking around doing board shit. And then Ramon comes in. He's looking for vengeance. He shoots a board member right off the fucking bat.
Yeah, you got to make a point.
Yeah. Tells the others to go ahead and call off the execution. They do. He kills them anyway.
Yep.
So, cut to
vengeance is a bitter dish, but he likes bitter.
Yeah.
That's a line from earlier in the show.
Yeah. So, cut to the VR facility. The warden is in the fancy chair now. Holloway is kneeling at her feet, defeated. She explains a bunch of conspiracy bullshit that the board are all descendants of the Knights Templar, which I assume this is going back to Assassin's Creed shit. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Says that the board is always going to remain. The thing is, it needs to be refreshed from time to time, and offers Holloway a seat on the new reconstituted board.
Ooh.
Yeah. Laserhawk limps the fuck in. Mostly dead. He killed the army, apparently.
Classic line, you look like shit. You should see the other guys. The other guys being the army.
The army and a Voltron.
So, looking pretty good, considering.
Yeah, considering. He collapses on the ground as he's dying. She's kind of mocking him and comes over to him and like cradles his head in her lap and is like, you could have done so good. You should have chosen the right side. And then he grabs her wrist and triggers the bomb in his head.
Yeah, good move.
It's a pretty cool move.
The old suicide brain bomb.
Yeah. Then we cut to Holloway limping away in smoke. And it turns out that the warden was nearly entirely fucking robot. Because she ain't dead. She's just a giant robot with no skin on it. Exactly like the end of Class of 1999.
Exactly. So many shout outs to movies we've seen that I'm sure they were referencing.
Absolutely. And she says, Marcus, are you in or are you out? And then we go to a nice 16-bit Laserhawk loading screen where it's just the little sprite in a circle of light. And he makes some jokes about how, I guess this is death. It's pretty underwhelming. And then a little speech bubble pops up at the bottom of the game, and it's Sam Fisher and says, "This isn't the end. This is where we fight back." And then a continue, blink, 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 blink screen pops up. And that's it.
I guess they were hoping to get a second season, or maybe not. Who knows?
I assume so. I mean, because I assume they were hoping to get a second season because it would have been very easy to wrap everything up and have the characters win. Yeah. Which this is a good show. The ending isn't great for if it's not going to continue. You can end it, but having especially this little bit of ending is suboptimal from a dramatic perspective.
Well, on IMDb, it lists there being one episode in season 2, but it's confusing because it doesn't appear to be an actual episode. But
That's
Season 2, Episode 1, Episode 2.1. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that is often how IMDb lists stuff. Like if something's been renewed,
Okay.
like it'll just throw a placeholder there. But I didn't do a ton of research. I didn't see anything about it being renewed. But if it does, I'll watch it.
Yeah, same. Netflix is weird. They might do it in 5 years. You just never fucking know with those guys.
Yeah, and also I don't know what the turnaround time on this specific animation is. I guess.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get the video game references, which I think both of us didn't really get, I think they did. Like, the balance of fan service to roping in new people is always such a delicate thing to do in any adaptation. And I think this one did all right, and it was helped by the fact that it was just such an absurd cartoon that they could put shit like Rayman doing rails.
And absurd cartoon is a really important aspect in my mind. Like, because that was I also, as you mentioned, it was hard to get motivated to start this thing because I think it was Tuesday night or something. I started watching it, got about 15 minutes in, and I was like, this is just fucking too much right now. I can't handle it. There's just a lot of shit going on. I gotta bail and start over some other time. And there is a lot of shit.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, I just from the trailer I'd seen, and I was like, man, it's so brightly colored. And after just watching Andor, which is super serious, and Rogue One,
it's super brightly colored, and it's also not consistent.
Yeah,
like the changing animation styles are very cool, but it takes energy to stick with it, I guess. But
I would say midway through season 2, I was pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Episode 1 was kind of an intro to the world, but episode 2, it starts to, when they're doing the heist and I liked that. I liked the seduction as a dating sim. That was very funny. Yeah. And it was that's when I realized it was good. And then I kind of fell off again with the weird Sega CD shit. I didn't care for that.
Yeah, that was, I don't like that.
Let's I was gonna say there's no box office stuff to compare it to unless you have any other tidbits.
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay. Let's rate it then.
Let's do that.
So we'll start with the story of Captain Laserhawk. It's cribbed from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like
clearly.
It's an amalgamation of a lot of different cyberpunk stories, almost nothing unique to it, but yet I mean, I don't know.
It's a good recombinator.
Yeah, there's value in retelling some stories anyway. So I would probably give it a 7.5. That's what I'm kind of landing.
I think that's real fair. 7 for me. Yeah.
Okay. I like the world they built. It's a fun little crazy alien world.
It's fun and interesting. I do wish that they had gone back and in a real show, I'd say reshot some of the pilot to include hybrids.
Yeah, that they're not in there at all, are they?
Because, they do not exist in that first episode, and I assume this was a matter of they got a pilot and got that approved, and then went back and went, what else do we want to do with this thing? Hey, what if we have a bunch of animal people?
Yeah, it is shocking when you're just like, oh, there's just animal people in this world now? All right, whatever. It's a cartoon. Sure. That opening chase scene, though, is pretty dope, by the way.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a good start.
They go on the part of the highway that's an anti-grav where they take over, and so you can't control your vehicle, and you're on the anti-grav highway. That's pretty dope. Yeah. All right, next rating category is influence, which I think it's too new, and
it's only 2 years old.
It's pretty much an NA for that one.
Yeah.
Prescience. This is the one where I got to give it a high rating.
9.
I know.
9. I hate it.
It sounds weird.
Yeah.
For such a crazy cartoon where a man whose hands are separate from his body is one of the main characters.
And somebody fires a video game gun at the sky that opens a portal and giant mutant rabbits come through.
Yes, that's what's stopping it from being a 10.
Yeah.
But as for the dystopia they built in this show,
Nailed it.
holy shit. It is very realistic in a lot of ways. And that is horrifying.
It's good.
Because we don't have a Captain Laserhawk coming to save us.
Yeah.
Or an Alex. Style, I mean, you can't deny this fucking... I got to drop a 10 on it.
It's
whether you
got
like it
a
or not.
lot. Yeah, the
lot.
thing is, like, and a bunch of it is style that I do not like, but boy, we can't fault it for fucking volume. It does a lot of shit, and a lot of that shit is stuff I haven't seen before. So yeah, 10 I think is very fair.
I didn't dislike any of the style aspects of it. I was what the fucking at a lot of it. I was confused by a lot of it, but I either liked it or was just confused by it. Okay, let's do with 1 to 5 hand raisers, our version of 1 to 5 stars.
I'm gonna go ahead, and I feel weird going this high, but I feel like I want to do 4, like partially because it's so much better than my expectations. A, when we started, and B, when I was 15 minutes in, I was like, "What the fuck is happening? I don't know," and was expecting that this week would just be, oh man, I gotta watch fucking 6 of these. Fuck.
Yeah.
It turned out no. Once I started it, once it clicks in, it clicks real good.
Yeah, it does. 4 is fair. 3.5 seems too. I'm gonna go 3.75. I don't know why I'm gonna split the difference.
That was what I was fighting with. Do I want to go a full 4 or do I want to do 3.75?
I could do 4. I could be convinced on 4 probably pretty easy.
Yeah, and I decided, fuck it. I'm just, I'm not going to err on the side of caution for this, because this show clearly did not err on the side of caution for fucking anything.
Sure as shit didn't. Fucking Ubisoft. Like, sure, this is kind of an ad for Ubisoft, but man, it's a wild thing to do, and I guess good on them for doing something crazy and fun and weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big Ubisoft fan, and they've probably had some horrible corporate practices to their programmers. I would be willing to bet they all do. It seems like
that seems to be how the games industry runs.
But they made this weird cartoon, which was pretty enjoyable. It was only about 2 hours, really, when you skipped intro and credits.
Yeah, right around there.
So
yeah, it's not bad. Recommendo, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
recommendo, Captain Laserhawk. Thanks for everybody who recommended it to us, and there were many of you.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't expect it to be so cyberpunk. I thought it was just kind of in that 80s flashy style, but no, it's straight up fucking chrome and neon cyberpunk.
Yeah. Okay, what are we doing next week, Eric?
Well, next week we have a movie that probably significantly less cyberpunk than Captain Laserhawk.
I don't know about that.
I've never seen it. Never even really heard of it other than I've heard the title mentioned before. But Josh says we should do it, and he says it's good. So we're going to be watching Sneakers.
Sneakers, 1992. Yes, feel free to check. It does star Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Ben Kingsley.
Dan Aykroyd,
a beautiful young River Phoenix.
What? That's the most cyberpunk cast I've ever heard of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sidney Poitier?
Yeah. David Strathairn, one of my favorite actors. And Mary McDonnell, of course.
Wait.
Look, I promise the audience it is a more cyberpunk movie than it seems like right now. And I think it's a pretty good movie.
When was the last time you watched it?
Been a while. I know that in 1992, I watched it in the movie theater in downtown Emporia. Nice. I believe it was possibly even the same day that I saw, I think it was when Interview with the Vampire came out.
This is good content for after the recap, so don't burn it. We'll see what else came out.
Yeah. We will. It's available for rent on places. I don't know. Check it out from your local library, or of course, always hoist the flag, etc., etc.
Yep.
Because it's out there.
Also, probably worth putting out there that this Sneakers is the episode that will air on the 28th. We'll also have an episode on the 4th, but after that, we are going to be going into our extended summer break as Josh fucks off into the desert.
Yes. It is not impossible that we could record something in that last week. So if people wanted to, I don't know, send emails, whatever.
Yeah, it might be an email episode. That's a good idea, actually. Let's just, if you have
we
questions
talked about that last week. You forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have questions, Quiments? Please send them to us. The email is hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you go to our Linktree, which is linktree/hightechlowlife, you can leave us a voice email, which a SpeakPipe voicemail, which we haven't received in a very long time. Well, we have from our usual SpeakPipe sender. But you make the content.
You make the content, we react to it. That's how that week will work. Okay?
Just that 1 week. And we should probably also do a Patreon episode before then too.
Oh yeah. Let's we'll get on that.
So get ready for a summer of no high tech, no life. No tech, no life.
Less tech than Okay, great.
Yes. Did you prepare a quote for this?
I have one quote that I typed up verbatim.
Okay, before you say it, let me once again promote patreon.com/hightechlowlife. Bluesky, we are High Tech Low Life with all the Bluesky bullshit added onto it. I'm also at the Frog with a 0, and he's at Count 0 with an X. The email hightechlifepodcast@gmail.com.
And also, if you want to talk to us in kind of real time-ish, go to the Astronomica Podcast Discord. Be polite. We like them. If you are rude, it makes us look bad. Fuck you.
They also have that link, a non-expiring link on. That was unintentional. I've been listening. I've been binging Astronomica. You got to give me a break. They have a link on their website, astronomicapodcast.com.
That they do. They are our gracious hosts. So you want this quote?
Hit us with that quote.
Once the fire of hate lights up people's hearts, nothing can stop it.
Yeah, that is unfortunately true.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Saw Gerrera was right.
This has been the High Tech Low Life podcast. Find us on Bluesky at High Tech Low Life. Email us at hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com. And find us on Patreon at patreon.com/hightechlowlife. Theme music by Nihilor at nihilor.com. Thank you for listening.
Keep it moving. Come on, what are you waiting on? Let's go.
They're trashing our rights, man! They're trashing the fluid data! They're trashing! Everybody out there. Hide the planet! Hide the planet!
Shut up and get in the car.